Taehyung entered the apartment as he balanced himself holding the couch as he somehow managed to control his inner self till he reached his bed as he fell onto the bed, covering his mouth with his hand as a painful sob left finally pulling out all his emotions which he kept hiding for so long. Taehyung's slow painful sob started to echo inside the room. Tae, what have you done, Tae? Sob. What have you done? He mumbled to himself, hugging the pillow. Tae, he hates me. He hates me, God. He hates me so much. My cookie hates me. He cried harder. Tae, it was all your fault, Tae. You did wrong. You broke your cookie's heart and you humiliated him in front of others. You disrespected his pure love. You destroyed everything, Tae. Your selfishness destroyed everything. You should have given him a chance. He loved me so much, they said as he remembered JK's words and his behavior during their last encounter before leaving to America. They, he was pure and innocent, but look what you have done to him. He is not the cookie whom I used to know anymore. He has become someone totally different. He is not my cookie anymore. Sobs. What I am supposed to do now, God? How am I supposed to make you mine, Jungkook? I feel so distant from you more than I ever felt so far. They, that much hurt in your eyes? I know I hurted you so bad, but I never thought I would have hurted you up to that distance, Jungkook. Sobs. The memories started to hunt Taehyung down for the rest of the night. He couldn't stop himself from remembering those awful words which he said to Jungkook. I would never fall for a peasant like you, Jungkook. The words were ringing inside Taehyung's mind again and again, making him cry harder as he unknowingly fell asleep while hugging Jungkook's photo frame, which was the only thing he had which belonged to Jungkook. On the other side with Jungkook, Suga, is everything alright? Suga entered the cafe area as he sat next to Jungkook, grabbing a chair moving closer. JK, huh? He let out a sarcastic chuckle as he continued to sip his tea without giving any attention to Suga. Suga, Cook, what's wrong? Taehyung was also not looking good when he left. Did you two had a fight? Don't tell me you hurted him. Suga kept asking so many things like a chain, making Jungkook lose his control more. JK, yeah, he kinda shouted as he smirked with a chuckle, looking like a maniac as Suga signaled all the guards to leave as everyone left the cafeteria, leaving Suga and JK alone. JK, yeah, I hurted him. I will hurt him in the future too. Are you happy now? He said as Suga signed. Suga, Cook, calm down. Listen to me, man. I know it's hard, but this is not the way to solve this problem. Believe me, if you keep behaving like this, things will become worse. And he will start to hate you, and you will regret it later, Cook. He said, holding Jungkook by his shoulders. JK, so what? Let it be. I can't do this anymore, Suga. I can't. Sobs. Let him hate me, and let him go away from my life. He ran his hand along his hair, pulling them quite tighter, closing his eyes. Suga, you sure, Jungkook? Are you sure you would be able to handle yourself if Taeyang leave you? Huh? Answer me, Jungkook. Can you make up your mind if someone else get married with him and leave you for forever? Huh? JK, Suga. He grinded his teeth, glaring at Suga like he would punch Suga if he dared to speak any word about Taeyang marrying someone else. Suga, see, you can't bear it, Jungkook. You can't even think of a life without him. I know you very well, Jungkooka. That's why I'm trying to help you this much. Suga, I want to see you happy. Believe me. Give me a chance to help you out, Cook. I promise we'll figure it out together. JK, no, Suga, it's not easy like you think. You know what he did to me. He broke my heart in the worst way possible. He humiliated my love and made me vulnerable and made me beg in front of him for his love. He disrespected me. He destroyed my ego, he said as he tightened his fist, trying to control his anger. JK, I want him to regret. I want him to beg in front of me. I want to see him vulnerable in front of me. His mind spoke as he clutched his chest, while his heart wasn't ready to even think of doing anything bad to Taeyang. Suga hugged JK as JK calmed down a bit. Taeyang was doing his first photo shoot for June Industries as their main model when Jungkook arrived with Suga to pay a visit to check whether the things are okay. Jungkook arrived to the place as everyone on the set bowed at him as he took a seat which was arranged for him as he stared at Taehyung who was busy posing for the cameraman. Jungkook's eyes started to trail over Taehyung's figure as his eyes got stuck on the outfit which Taehyung was wearing. Taehyung was wearing a tight leather pants and a silk top which was quite transparent enough to display his perfect curves. Jungkook poked his tongue against his cheek as his eyes ran down on Taehyung's figure. Plus, the way Taehyung was posing, looking, was able to make Jungkook kind of feel restless as there were so many men who were watching Taehyung's photoshoot in the background. Suga felt the tension in the atmosphere as he made his way out, giving some space to Jungkook. Taehyung finished his last pose as he looked at Jungkook's direction just to meet with a burning gaze. Taehyung smirked as he sassily made his way towards Jungkook as Jungkook also stood up from his seat, approaching Taehyung. Tae, oh, hi Mr. CEO Jungkook, they said with a tone as he made eye contact with Jungkook. I didn't know you pay visits to check on your models when you're known for having a tight schedule, he said, making JK fist his hand as anger slowly started to flow inside him. JK, this is my company, Mr. V. I can come at any place at any time if I want to, and I don't need anyone's permission for that, he said as he stared back directly into Taehyung's eyes. Tae, well, if so, then that's even better, because we would be able to meet each other more often, he said as JK let out a sarcastic chuckle. JK, why so eager to meet me, huh? He asked with a smirk. Tae, is it only me? He asked, making JK kinda speechless. 'Cause I'm sure you're also dying to have a glimpse of mine, he smirked. JK, oh really? I don't think you know me well enough, V, he said with a playful grin. Tae, slight laugh. Come on, don't lie. I saw how you were me with your eyes. Like you want me right now, he whispered against JK's ear while placing his hand on JK's chest, making JK's body heat up, making his mind run wild for a second. Were you behaving like this with your previous heads too, huh? He asked sarcastically, making Taehyung feel a pang in his heart as Taehyung got stuck for a moment without knowing how to answer, making JK smirk more. JK, did you them too? Like you're doing with me right now, huh? He continued to make Tae feel uncomfortable intentionally while Taeyang could see fire in JK's eyes. Tae, don't you dare to cross your line, Jungkook. Tae managed to utter as he wasn't expecting Jungkook to throw these type of low accusations at him. JK, why don't you have answers, What I'm saying is true, isn't it? JK whispered back as he made Taeyang come closer by wrapping his hand around Taeyang's tiny waist, making him gasp. Tae, how dare you to question me, Jungkook? How dare you to think such low about me? He said as his heart started to ache hearing JK's words. JK, oh really? So you're telling me that you are pure like a flower, huh? He said as Taeyang's eyes unknowingly get teary, making JK's heart ache for a second, but nevertheless he continued. Taeyang couldn't believe this is the same Jungkook. He knew because he never thought Jungkook would raise these kind of low questions, questioning his purity, which hurted him as he decided to stay silent, as he was disappointed. Jungkook observed Tae as he chuckled, feeling satisfied, grabbing Taeyang's attention once again. JK, anyway, since you're so good at, feel free to do too, 'cause I won't mind getting by you. In case if you need any favoration from me, as I do like to nectar from flowers, he said the last word directly staring at Taeyang as he jerked himself from Taeyang, making Taeyang take a long breath, balancing himself as JK left while grinding his teeth. At this moment, Taeyang was sure he didn't need this version of Jungkook because Jungkook was acting like he was nothing respectful but a Taeyang was sure he would have felt disgusted if it wouldn't have been Jungkook, But at the same time, he had nothing to do about it, as he knew he is the reason behind all these behaviors of Jungkook. JK, what have you done, JK? He must be thinking so low about you. And how dare you to question him? He growled as he flashed some water onto his face, staring at his own self from the mirror before leaving for his cabin. Time skip. Before many days passed, Mr. and Mrs. Kim get to know about the fact that Taehyung was now working with Jungkook in his company as the main model. Mrs. Kim, you Kim Taehyung, how dare you not to tell me you are in America, huh? Mrs. Kim shouted, making Taehyung cover the phone speaker. Tae, Aish mom, don't yell. Do you want to break my eardrums even through phone? Huh? He said with a little annoyed tone. Mrs. Kim, when did you start hiding things from me, Taehyung? How dare you to lie to me? Tae, Mom, I didn't lie to you. Believe me, I didn't know this was Jungkook's company till the day they come to meet me. Come on, don't be mad at you, Tete Mumma. Mrs. Kim, okay. Anyway, it's all past now. So tell me, where are you staying now? Tae, at my apartment, he said with a low voice. Mrs. Kim, lie. Since when did you have an apartment in America? Tae, Mom, I recently bought it. Mrs. Kim, I don't care, but you have to come to stay with us from tomorrow. Tae, but Mom, Mrs. Kim, no buts, that's the final. We are at Jungkook's house. Tae, what? Mrs. Kim, yes, and you are going to stay with us at JK's house. That's the final. 'Cause now only I understand that too much freedom is not good, she said as Taeyang whined. Tae, Mumma. Mrs. Kim, okay, bye Tete. See you tomorrow. Mrs. Kim said as she winked at Mr. Kim and Jungkook, who was sitting in front of her as Jungkook smirked. Mrs. Kim, Cookie, believe me, we would have no clue about our bratty Tae's works until you tell us that he is working with you, she said as Jungkook simply smiled at her. JK in mind, you awake the beast who was buried inside me for so long, Taehyung. Now be ready to bear the consequences, 'cause you will find no way out in this love maze of mine. Taehyung scratched the back of his head as he slightly smiled. Tae, I can't believe we are going to stay together like before, he said for himself as he squeezed his pillow, burying his face, feeling excited. Of course, he liked to go to stay at JK's house, as he would be able to stay with all of them like before, and as he would be able to meet Sohee too. But above all those reasons, he was happy for the fact that he would be able to stay with JK under the same roof as him after 4 years, because he knew no matter how much JK tried to act cold with him outside, he won't be able to do that inside their home.